Well, hello everyone. I hope you're doing fine. I have a little um, story that I'm going to need to tell you, and this is regarding a Crooked Creek board meeting. Originally, there was supposed to be a board meeting on 5/25 of 2022. Um, that was canceled again. These meetings seem to be canceled all the time. There's a lot going on at Crooked Creek regarding the money. They don't want to talk about it. I used to be on the board. I know one hell of a lot more than one would imagine. And what they do is they sneak items in here and act as if they're just coincidentally talking about it. This has been going on for a long time. So I'm going to play a couple things for you and explain to you exactly what's going on. You're also going to see the level of ignorance by Cheryll Vance, the president of the board, Brian Lemmon, who's the treasurer. He used to be the president, and also Lisa Lemmon of CNS Management. I've asked for it several times. I said, you have to get rid of her. There's some people that disrespect the people who are paying their check. And once again, they continue to just want to talk about what they want to talk about. It's ridiculous. But this will give you an idea what's going on, and it's a shorter version. Here we go. Here's the beginning of the meeting, June 22nd, 2022. And it was way past 5:30 because it started late.
Aye. Aye. Okay, let's move on to new business. Discussion regarding Munyon painting. I would just like to say that I've had a conversation with Jack Munyon, owner of Munyon Painting, and they will be coming out here in the next couple of weeks. It'll probably take me a couple of weeks before they come to take care of some matters that we have pointed out to them. And we held back 10%, is that correct, Brian?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
So anyway, those matters will be taken care of. He has been out here and driven around and seen, and I think he talked with you, John, correct?
You did, yeah.
Okay, and you need to make up your mind if you want him to redo that or you're gonna get a new one or whatever, but you've got a couple of weeks, okay?
Yeah, I am looking at a new garage door, but that'll be months before it gets in, so I'm gonna have them,
Okay,
redo this.
yeah. Okay, and that's fine. He understands that, so that's not a problem. So we'll let everybody know. Lisa will send out something, when he's coming, or we'll let everybody know that they'll be out here to finish.
Okay, let's take a look at what's really going on. It's the minor things that get you. John Melligard is pretty much one of the people on the board. He's almost non-existent. He's not here. He's other places. But you can always count on him to vote the way he's supposed to. So he's pretty popular. A lot of times he's not even on property for long times. There's certainly been some testy exchanges with him and another woman around here before, and of course, nobody says anything about it. It gets a little rough over there, but hopefully things will straighten out. What he talked about was quiet like this. Well, we're getting a new garage door, and we talked about blah blah. They didn't talk about it. Let me explain to you exactly what's going on. John Melligard, who's on the board, who just goes along with everything, installed a whole bunch of security cameras in front of his property. I actually took pictures on the very day he had done, and he had security cameras mounted. Right now, Crooked Creek is suing somebody else who has security cameras in the front of their house after a violent physical altercation that happened to that person. But we'll have more information on that. So let's see what's next on the agenda. I might just have to fast forward. But once again, this is the way this board operates. They act as if, oh, well, it's no big deal. The fact of the matter is Lisa Lemmon put another couple through hell trying to get a garage door put in her home. And what she said was she wanted to have all sorts of submissions and to what kind of door she wanted, whatever. During this meeting, I asked, well, let me have a copy of the submission that he made, Mr. Mellengard. Give me a copy of it. That way everybody else could get the exact same door. And there's some consistency. If you notice the crooked creeks, the whole place looks like a barn. The carports look different, the roofs look different, the railing look different. It has to be done on purpose. This place is treated like a personal rental agency, like it's a little rental place. These are they take the styling cues from the people at the lowest grade apartments on the other side. So not everybody wants to be like this, but when they separate everybody and you have all this hatred, that's exactly what ends up. Let's see what happens here.
Can I make a comment just to clarify for people that are on that may not be aware, not know what we're talking about the 10%. So they've been given payment except for the final 10% until the work is done and inspected and approved, and then we'll release the remaining funds.
Okay, thank you, Brian. We don't have this on here, but is there anybody any of the board members that have any reports they want to give at this time? So that's that. Okay. Nobody? Okay.
No.
You know, isn't it sad? You know, there's different boards that are appointed by the president of the board and the people on the board, and they pick and choose committees like the finance committees. You know, it's been months since everybody knows how much money they're spending, and they don't want to talk about this painting contract. Okay. Now, when I was supervising the painting contracts, not as a person representing Crooked Creek, but representing myself, they replaced only some of the boards. They caulked some boards. The job was not done at a professional level. There was also work done after the painting where it was all torn off, boards and everything else. There's a level of unprofessionalism that's unbelievable. And when things are done in order and done in bits and patches with all sorts of buildings, it's easy to take money from one building and pad the people on the board's buildings with their expenses. There's some really serious expenses that's going on with a couple of the buildings due to a major collapse. But we'll get to that just a little later. I don't want to talk about too much, but here's one of the problems that we have. They want to sit there in this whole meeting so they could pat themselves on the back on how they're getting grants from Sarasota County. And they want to sit here and just keep on talking about what a great job they did and the plants and what kind of illegal plants. But during this conversation, something important happened. Somebody was going through this property and they were tearing up the potato vines, which is an invasive species. And you're not supposed to do that because supposedly it spreads stuff all over the place, not unless you get the roots. But once again, I don't pretend to be an expert on plants. If you saw how poorly this place is taken care of with pepper trees and everything else and overgrowth, those are the things they should be clearing out before you even do anything else. There was a lady many years ago who handled all that. She was unbelievable at it. Very nice person. Okay, we're going to go to 1728. Let's see if we can get there in one piece.
The fence line by buildings. Hang on. It's the building that Lisa Brown lives in. And then that we would also start buying some plants in this calendar year, as well as the supplies.
And I just want to make sure that everybody is very well aware. You know, we have a couple of issues that have come up. You know, we just finished with the painting. We had to have an engineer come out and look at some of the sections. that have some more significant repairs that need to be made. So we are looking at, Brian, how much was that?
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
The engineering, how much is that?
It's a little over 5,000.
Okay,
$5,500 according to him.
Okay.
so then we have, then we'll have whatever has to be done by the engineering. You know, I want to make sure that everybody is well aware of what your budgets are. Because these are coming out of the sections, and I have a couple of sections, specifically number 6, that is down to less than $1,000 in their operating and less than $1,200 in their reserves. So we are really banking it tight on the so we're going to have to be really, really careful of where we're going. Now, when you're looking at spending this grant money, know that we haven't even started storm season yet. And the one thing that is not part of any budget is if a storm comes through and we have downed or failed trees.
Let me save you a lot of time here. That's Lisa Lemmon with CNS Management. Now, her routine is that they burn through the money, get through tons of extras, and then she complains. She does her job being the prudent person who's telling you to stop wasting money. The problem is that they don't discuss exactly how much money that they're spending, what the budget is, what the finance committee's doing. They don't separate the contracts. They borrow from Peter to pay Paul, and they take money from different buildings to pay for buildings that they themselves are in. One of our problems too is that there's problems with the sprinkler, and they had a bunch of extra bills on that. But what they're talking about is really in excess of 2 months of expenses, and they blew a month off, and then everybody approves everything, and then you don't get all the information that you need. So when it's convenient, they don't want to talk about those meetings. There's huge legal fees that are piling up, and they're going to get bigger, and nobody's knowing where that money's coming from. Okay, now we're going to go to 30. Let's go with 29. Let's keep it exciting.
Talking to Lisa about the financing, those are reimbursable?
Those are called in-kind contributions, Sherry.
Right, but I understand in-kind contribution.
So it's matching.
Okay, Brian, you hold me.
No. I'm just helping Cynthia out in the sense that that part is for the matching. Isn't that right, Cynthia?
That's correct, Brian.
That's not my question.
Matching contributions, just like
That's not my question.
Okay,
My question is, I know we had to pay the $1,050, for the mapping. And so if we got already with Lisa with in-kind and Betty with in-kind, since they're before the grants are awarded, will they be reimbursed? That's my question.
actually, if they were before, they would not be reimbursed. However, they have volunteered to do this after the grant begins. Therefore, they will be considered matching in-kind contributions.
Okay.
Let's talk about this just for a little bit. As you can see, they're going back to the grants because they want everybody to think, oh, we're wonderful. We're getting grant money for you to get rid of a couple of invasive species. And there's some extra grant money in there, and I'm sure they've been thinking about how they could pocket it. And they don't know which accounts to put it in or which not to. But that's been a problem here from day one. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to talk to people. They talk down to anybody who questions them. I'm going to go forward again because this just went on and on. So I'm going to get you to 4017. If anybody wants to drudge through this whole thing, let me know. I'll make your life miserable and send you a copy of this.
It was to look at the buildings that we had some stucco problems with and needed repair.
I think, Mike, the deal was that some of these, they were afraid might be structural damage more than just a patch job of stucco.
I see, because they're block buildings and foundation problems could cause.
No, there's no foundation problems.
There's no foundation problems, but there is some problems up by the eaves that we have to take a look at, and that's what they come out. So as soon as we have the report, I will make sure that it goes out to the membership.
I'd like to read that. Thank you very much.
Let me explain to you what's going on here. This is what these fools did. They went ahead and painted everything. I got pictures of it, of course. And then what happened was they didn't ask any of the residents if they have stucco problems. And there's loose stucco all over this place. And they're trying to mix all the money together with the other buildings. So the people who live in the wealthier buildings like me are probably going to end up getting stuck paying the fees of people over there in the hood. So anyways, what they did was they painted everything, then they tore it off, then they started stuccoing stuff, and they stuccoed over the finished paint. And they didn't prime all the areas that need to be primed. There's a lot of, the gutter work wasn't done, the gutters are falling off. If you remember prior meetings, they keep talking about how they're going to do gutters, how they're going to fix up the place. Everything is done out of order. And it has to be done on purpose, or the people who are there just don't know what they're doing and they really should leave because they're not doing things on order. And when you try to explain this to them, they always take it extremely, extremely bad. They try taking it personal. They act like, oh, you know who it is that's talking, which is all just, it's the way they operate. Let me get you to 50 here so we're not wasting time.
Patrick, did you want to say something?
Yeah, it's right. Yes, it's regarding the level of damage that you have to your building in particular. That's a massive amount of damage and they're sinking. So I don't know who's telling you these things, but I've been around the block a long time and nobody loses that much concrete. And there's definitely water issues at the base of that building. Thank you.
Okay. First off, the reason that it looks like it does now, and if no one's seen it, you can walk by and see it. It's not massive. It's maybe a foot long and 6 inches tall. And when they were painting and doing repair, when they started that, when they kind of chipped at that, then that fell out. So that was, that's what, it hasn't just been sitting there. And we had a qualified engineer come and check all this. And I don't believe that any of the buildings are seen, but that's my opinion.
We'll wait for the expert to tell us what's going on. Plus, if there are issues, then there would probably be some damage in other parts of either the exterior and or the interiors as well. So.
Correct. Thank you. Are there any other member comments? If not, we need to schedule our next
Now they
meeting.
continue to mute me
One
here.
last comment regarding Mr. Melgard.
Well,
Yeah, hey, Mr. Melgard, I asked a while ago, in fact, my wife and I purchased garage doors, and what I tried doing at that time, I gotta finish, he talked about it.
okay, let's schedule our
I'd like
next
to finish
meeting.
this.
The fourth Wednesday is July 27th.
All right, so we'll have a meeting July 27th at 5:30, and we'll,
See, there's a level of ignorance here, and it's because they know exactly where this is going. Here's what I'd like to tell you again. John Mellengard went and got himself some new garage doors. He does whatever he wants because he's on the board. And he went and he picked his garage door. He didn't submit it like Lisa Lemmon wanted, CNS. This is all in black and white. This is in emails. There's proof of this. And she purposely puts different people through the most agonizing behavior that she can. And then for somebody else that's on the board, they sit there and they play stupid. Let me explain something to you. When they started painting all these doors, they painted the additional weight of these doors is unbelievable. The other thing too is when they had the asphalt work done, which was just a hideous job, the water was going into the doors, and these are wooden doors, and they sopped up all the moisture, and they were destroying garage door openers, and they still do. We've done everything we possibly can to go and take care of this. Let me get you to 5259. See if we can get you here.
that'd be great.
Lisa, what kind of an outline do you want? Like you ordered me to give?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That figures.
Let me explain this to you again, and I hope I'm not repeating myself, but you'll get the point. What I've done is that I've requested to talk about certain things on this board in front of the board people because they have to be held accountable, and they're not answering. Now, this is the board of directors meeting, which is right here. And let me explain what they have. Call meeting to order, proper meeting notice, determination of quorum, and then it's the minutes and financial reports. Over 2 months of it was approved in 2 minutes, and they didn't talk about it. The new business was discussion regarding Munyon painting. That they glossed over real quick. There's a massive amount of money and questions and answers that need to be discussed. The next thing is discussion regarding grants. That doesn't say anything. And then 3, other contracts. Okay, these are not specifics, and it doesn't tell you what's going on, and it's purposely done this way. They don't want anybody giving specific items. This is something that kindergartners would do. And some of the people on the board are educated. Okay, one of the most important things that we have right here is in the arguments, because it's going to be part of a legal process. I can't give it out right now, but what they did was somebody was picking all the potato vines, and then they sued somebody. They sued somebody for picking potato vines. Somebody else trims bushes, tries to clean up the place. They have lawyers cost that person thousands of dollars. This is criminal activity. Well, I'm sending this to their lawyer, and we're going to have to go and deal with the shenanigans that goes on here. So I wish everyone the best. Give me a call. I'll give you the original documents.